Today, President Trump threatened to attack a mountain in Iran that's allegedly used for nuclear activity. Pickaxe Mountain is described as one of the most secure facilities in the Middle East. It has tunnel complexes deep underground, but it's unclear if nuclear centrifuges are stored there. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy questioned Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth about the mountain today.
Do we have the ability to destroy whatever is underneath Pickaxe Mountain?
Senator, a lot of our capabilities are classified, but if anybody in the world can reach anything on God's green earth, it's the United States military, the most powerful military in the world.
CBS News national security analyst Aaron MacLean is here with more. So tell us more about this mountain, and would you consider a strike there an escalation?
Hey, good evening, Lindsay. So this mountain, this facility is sort of dead center here in the middle of Iran. I'll zoom in a bit to our map of Iranian nuclear sites. It's basically an extended part of the Natanz nuclear facility, which has been hit a couple of times, both back in the summer of 2025 during the 12-day war and more recently in this conflict. But the Pickaxe Mountain site itself, which is, as the name suggests, a facility buried deep underground inside of a mountain, has actually not been struck so far as part of either of these wars. And it does pose a very serious military problem. It was interesting, both the question Senator Kennedy asked and the answer Secretary Hegseth provided just now. You could hear they weren't distinguishing between an air attack and a ground assault. I think there are some legitimate questions about how much damage to a facility buried at least 100 meters under solid rock, how much damage you could do just from the air alone.
How important, let's talk about another development in the region. How important is the Red Sea to the shipping industry, and how big of a problem is this new blockade, which President Trump says isn't a blockade?
So on the assumption that the Houthis, who of course are in charge of a good swath of Yemen down here, follow through on their threat and blockade ships going to and from Saudi ports, it could be an issue, and let me explain why. We are all familiar with the fact that it is very hard to move traffic through the Strait of Hormuz right now, connecting the Persian Gulf out here ultimately to the Indian Ocean. What the Houthis would block is the Bab el-Mandeb, this other very narrow body of water that connects ultimately the Indian Ocean to the Red Sea, the Suez Canal, and the Mediterranean beyond. Why is that a problem? Because as the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, Saudi Arabia, others have been shipping a large part of oil through a pipeline across the country to a port facility around here called Yanbu. And out of Yanbu, ships go up to another pipeline here to send their oil west. But if you're taking your oil to Asia, the ships come this way through the Bab el-Mandeb. Long story short, the Houthis have the capability. Again, geography gives them the ability, gives them the advantage of being able to cause a lot of trouble right here. And if they cause that trouble, it's going to get very hard to buy oil in Asia. We're
going to bounce around a little bit and take advantage of your expertise while we have you. We are also seeing more drones and missiles being intercepted in Jordanian airspace. We saw one missile hit its target at the base east of Amman because it, quote, leaked through the defenses, according to Secretary of State Rubio. The same base had been hit twice in a 48-hour period prior to the deadly strike Friday. Dozens of U.S. military personnel were wounded. How is Iran successfully getting missiles and drones past, and what other questions do you have?
Right. So that base where the casualties occurred in Jordan is right about here. It's sort of east of Amman, obviously a fair distance from Iran, but Iran has still in its arsenals drones and ballistic missiles capable of reaching that base. And depending on what you're shooting, in this case, ballistic missiles, but some of these U.S. casualties in the past have also been caused by drones, they're essentially different systems of air defense that operate at different ranges and altitudes. And the idea is, for example, with the ballistic missile, as the missile comes in, there are systems that can get it at very high altitude, like the so-called THAAD system. At a lower altitude, the Patriots can get it, and so forth and so on down. And eventually, you're supposed to knock them all out of the sky before anything touches the ground. Obviously, that did not happen in that case. Why? Well, all of these things, this battle of air defense versus incoming missiles, think of it like a dogfight. Every day the tactics shift. The Iranians can shoot from different places. They can adjust the terminal guidance to have the missiles maneuver in different ways at the end, which affects how we respond. And it's this constant tactical cat and mouse. We don't know what resource constraints we have on our side. We don't know what tactics the Iranians actually used, but clearly they were able to get a shot through.
Wow. Okay. Aaron MacLean, thank you.